start in number one saying a huge thanks to the great fans that we have at Purdue. They were with us all year long and probably had every reason in the world not to be. But I just mentioned in the next room that we'll get this flipped into a winning program, and I feel such a deep responsibility to do it, not only for our players, but for the people of Purdue, because Ross-Ade is an elite place, and I can feel it on what it's going to be, on how we're going to continue to build this, and then the results that drive into winning. It'll be one of the toughest places for opponents to come play because of the people, and this place is special in a number of ways and reasons. One of them at the top of that list are the great fan supporters, student section that we have here, and I'll get it fixed where it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody that is stuck with us. Hey, everybody's got, when you look at seniors when they end, it's hard, it's tough. Especially when you end with not winning enough games this year, it's a really difficult thing. Everybody's got an expiration date, and that's hard. The ending is hard because you want them to have success. You want them to get some reward for the things that they poured into it. There's I've known everybody's got a story on how they ended up here, challenging them, whether it was 6 months or 5 years. There's a couple of guys in the class from Jalen St. John to Miles Slusher that I first met when they were in the 8th grade, between their 8th and 9th grade year. And, you just hate for the ending to be here and you not have a chance to go to a bowl game with them. But we will use that as fuel and motivation to get there. We'll have a team meeting on Monday with all the players, seniors and underclassmen. I'll have exit meetings with those guys, and we'll get 4 really good lifts in the weight room the next 2 weeks before finals start, and we'll be on a mission to find a way to get to a bowl game next year. And signing date's Wednesday. I'm excited about the high school class that I hope that we get signed on Wednesday, and then in January when the portal window opens, we'll be very aggressive in that world as well, and hopefully retain some players that want to do it the Purdue way, and excited about turning the page and getting into that process on what it looks like. It's a long season for everybody. I understand that, but I also know that we're in a heck of a lot better spot today than we were about a year ago.
Going back to a year ago, how much more prepared, ready are you to attack this offseason versus a year ago, where you get here about a month from now, I guess, there's a mass exodus and you're trying to build a roster kind of on the fly?
Yeah, it's a little bit, I just don't know on what the retention's going to look like. How many are we going to sign, or how many are we going to lose, whatever the way you look at that is. So there's no way that we'll be at 83 like we were last year. So hopefully we can keep the core group of guys that want to do it and build this thing to winning success. And then you look at consistent teams that are able to retain players, and then you make you turn them into where every single year you're competing for bowl games and then something bigger than that. So I think a little bit more knowledge, lay of the land of the conference, what it needs to look like. Obviously, great respect for the teams that we played this year, the coaches, and physically what we need to do to continue to improve in that area. And then I've always believed as a coach that you got to find ways to get better. You got to find ways to improve your program. You got to find growth is so important in every single area. On the people that touch our players, how important that is for us. There is no cruise control. We got to go hit it. And we got to find a way to retain, to build, attract, and then develop the guys that we have that come in here.
Can you go into what went into the quarterback strategy tonight, sticking with Ryan all the way through as opposed to going back and forth?
Yeah, I thought we thought there was a little bit more opportunity, especially as the game started to unfold a little bit more in the throw game, and felt like Ryan gave us the best opportunity with that in mind.
Yeah, can you just talk about the quarterback position moving forward, what your plans are there?
In regards to?
The quarterback, you have any idea if you're going to
Well,
retain
right now
the quarterbacks?
we have Ryan Brown, we have Malachi Singleton, we have Bennett Meredith, we have Evans Chuba, and we have Garrett Odom. And our job is to develop those guys, every single person in our program, to try to get them to play their best ball. And that'll be our approach every single position, including the quarterback. And I think we've got guys that can play winning ball in that room.
Are there any parts of the program you think that there's more urgency to fix right now?
They're all urgent.
As far as the staff goes, is everything going to be evaluated as far as the staff goes too?
It's evaluated every day.
What do the next few days look like? You mentioned Monday, the team meetings. Are you taking this weekend off? It's
Me
kind of
personally?
I mean, as a team. Is there
Well, you've
staff
got a
meetings
number of
tomorrow?
hours. You have a number of hours that you have with them per week, and we've hit the 20 hours this week. So I can't bring them in tomorrow and have meetings or practice. So the guys that have treatment that will do that will do a really good job academically finishing this semester, leading up to finals. My wife and I's oldest son, turns 21 on Sunday, so I'm going to celebrate with JT. And didn't really get a Thanksgiving with the family, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time with them. And then every moment away from that, I'm going to be working for 2026.
When I talked to members of your staff last summer about recruiting and things like that, they, I think across the board, had mentioned like that 1-11 stigma being one of the hardest things as far as bringing in new players. It's just, where do you feel like, regardless of record, you have demonstrated some tangible progress, I guess, and then now that becomes kind of part of the sales pitch to the guys that you're trying to track from the portal in the next month?
Yeah, I want guys that really like ball. I want guys that like the process of what it's supposed to take and what it takes. You know, away from the 3.5 hours you get to play on Saturday. You know, the process, number one, physical qualities of speed, height, strength. There is going to be a high volume and workload on guys that have great toughness, and they're not just chasing a check. They're chasing the opportunity to get developed and get a degree from one of the greatest institutions in college landscape, and then guys that are competitive. And there's enough football players out there to find that you can go do that and win in this conference. So once we get guys on campus and they see what Purdue is, we're going to find the right people with the right DNA to help us go flip this thing into a winning place.
More questions for Coach? As it relates to staff changes, I guess, what is the evaluation process, especially at this juncture of a program where there was a lot of roster turnover and you're just getting things started? I guess, what does that evaluation look like?
In regards to what?
The performance at that position group or as a coordinator. I guess, how are you judging that right now?
I think every single week, you know, every single day, the body of work on mentoring our players, you know, academic success, on the field success, development, recruiting, all those things go into making ideas and thoughts and what the staff needs to look like. So I've never sit there and, you know, all of a sudden, if you listen to what everybody on the outside says, you know, I would have been fired after week 3, and so would every other coach. So it's a body of work on what people do, the value they have, and the experience that they have and what we need, in my belief, to get this program where it needs.